Alright guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So this is a kind of a full review for the LG V40. This didn't take long. I think I've only had this for a couple of weeks, maybe a little over a couple of weeks, but this was an easy review because I have the LG G8. So I want to start with just pretty much the hardware of the phone. This device feels just like my LG G8. Hands down, it's the same phone. Pretty much as far as feel in hand, it's just got a little bit bigger footprint, and that's ultimately what it is. And this is the triple camera setup with the fingerprint reader and LED flash, and then you've got your headphone jack and Type-C down here. The hardware of this phone, it's good. There's nothing bad about it. It's just like the G8. That's the only thing I can relate it to. So if you've held the G8, you've held the V40. It's just a little bit bigger. It's got the 6.4-inch display on there at 1440, and the G8 has the 6.1. This has a 3,300 milliamp hour battery in here, so the hardware on here is good. It's nothing, no wow factor, but it's good. It works. So I want to start with the battery. Now, originally when I posted this videos on this phone, I started with a battery review, then I followed up with an updated battery review, and I removed all the bloatware. So I removed probably 20 to 30 apps from this thing. It had a ton of them on there, and then I disabled all the ones that I couldn't remove. This phone came with so much bloatware, it was actually just killing the battery when it was idle. So now my standby time, it sips maybe 2 to 5% after about 12 hours or so, or 8 to 12 hours. That's really, really good for a phone that's syncing everything, and it's just like any other phone. Now the difference with this device is I only put one email address on here, and I didn't put all of my apps on here. I only put the ones that I knew I was going to use, which predominantly just the social media things. So that made this one probably also help with battery life. But the battery life though, it's been great. No more bad standby time. Screen on time, I think I'm roughly getting between 5 and 6, roughly. And that's pretty decent considering the size of this battery. I don't think LG skin is heavy or anything like that. I'm actually running my Pix launcher, my favorite launcher, PIX launcher. Look in the Play Store, you'll find it. Costs you, I know it's free, this is free. My favorite icon pack is Ortis. That's the one that costs $1, I believe it is. So, but this is the stock icon pack running with the Pix launcher, and it's perfectly fine. I haven't seen any slowdowns or hiccups or anything. Even without this Pix launcher, the phone is great, and that's just what it is. So, having good battery and good hardware, phone calls are, Sprint's network is not as good as what it was. It used to be fantastic where I lived at, but it has been years since I used Sprint's network. And so I found that when I first started to use the phone, text messaging would take a long time to go through and just basic things. And after a while, after using it for a little bit, it's working, it's good, it's flowing. Just the data speeds are super slow on Sprint's network where I live at. And notice I'm saying where I live at. Sprint's network, I don't think it's bad everywhere. I just think in certain areas it's just completely fallen off. Sprint is kind of thrown in the towel probably with upgrading certain areas. But I live in a major city, and there are way more Sprint stores than any other carrier around here. So, and that's because Sprint used to be like really solid in this area, and they still are probably, just not where I'm at. But as far as the network goes, it's all right. It's okay. It's not the worst. It's definitely not the best for data speeds and everything, and text messaging and calls. But hey, it can happen to any carrier. So aside from the battery, the network, the hardware, the overall experience with this phone, it's been what I expected it to be. I didn't expect to have a bad experience. I just expected to be wowed by the fact that I had a V40 finally, and I was excited about that. So, and I'm still excited about that. It's just that, having the G8, this makes sense. It's like you either choose this for $600 or the G8 for $600. And honestly, with this having that extra camera on there, of the two, this is definitely probably the smarter purchase if you're looking for that third camera. If you don't like the big size, you can save and still get great cameras with the G8, pretty much the same. It's just a full setup on here. This is like the G8's big brother, which is exactly what it is. And you know, you're getting some of the things that you might have missed out on or wanted on a G8, which, you know, hey, you can get them with the V40. So the bigger screen, the extra camera, that's about all I see from the V8, from the V40 to the G8. I know they're a different line of phones, the G line and the V line, but these phones are so similar, folks. It's unreal. You know, it's like you've used one, you've used them all. Now with LG, the G7, all of these phones, they're pretty much running neck and neck. And yeah, that's just what it is. So that's why I said this is kind of an easy review for me, because I already know the phone pretty much. You know, it's nothing that I wasn't expecting. I did get a better experience with the cameras overall because of that extra lens. Yeah, but battery life for sure is better on the G8 for me. And I have more things syncing on that one. But I'm guessing this is because this phone's pushing a little bit bigger screen. And, you know, the phones are optimized with the same software. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. I want to give you just a real brief full review, because, you know, there's nothing really I could brag about this phone, because I like my G8 so much. And yes, I keep referencing the G8 because that's pretty much what this is, man. If they're both 600, you have a good option. Because on T-Mobile, both of these are 600. This is 600, and the G8 is 619, and they're really close. But you know, your only difference is you're getting the 845 processor in here opposed to the 855 in the G8. And I mean, final numbers. If I was telling, if a person was asking me which one should you get, I personally would take now, before I said I could probably take this phone over the G8, but you know, feel in the pocket is important. Like when I put a case on the G8, it still feels like it's not there. So if you want a bigger screen, get this phone right here. If you want a smaller screen with all the power, get the G8 if you're an LG fan. There's no other way to say it. They're pretty much identical, but you're just getting that extra lens back there on the phone. That's pretty much it. So kind of a flat, dry, boring review on the V40, but it is what it is. There's nothing more I can tell you about this phone because it's so similar. You know, and what that means is it's time for LG to do something different. You know, we got the and the V40 pretty much is a continuation of this. It's just that it's 5G, and so it's time to do something different. We know you've mastered the DAC. You know, obviously the DAC is fantastic on this phone when plugging in. We know you've mastered, you know, the hardware, the screen, and all these things. You know, the cameras. You got the pro modes, the manual mode. You've got all that down. Now do something with your hardware. That's about what it is. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know I probably don't sound excited, but again, this is more of a. It's so similar to what I already have. You know, it's a good thing. It's just that it's time to switch it up. There's no other way to say it. It's time for LG to switch it up. And they've already brought out the V40. They now need to give something else, a different line, a K line or L line. I don't know, but this is so familiar that, you know, it's what I expected. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Leave a comment down below. If you have a V40, you got a great phone. Simple as that. Take care.